Music is a weapon.
A work associate requested that I use my video making powers for political views. So let's get serious and talk about my political views on abortion. Scratch that. Let's not ever. Unless, of course, I'm after my early stroke. Commence nostalgic old school arcade recall story time now. Every now and then you run into a situation where there's no other way out of it than to just grab a gun and start shooting at everyone involved. Survive it. Only this time you're casually on your way to the Club X for an Aerosmith concert in a helicopter with a machine gun that can shoot CDs? And then society gets taken over by the New Order Nation in a very well-timed revolution. Suddenly everything you like is bad or illegal because Helga says so. That is so not rock and roll. I will be damned if I'm gonna miss this Aerosmith concert. This is a big fundraiser for polio. It's a big epidemic in the world, and apparently I was the only one who bought a ticket. I mean, there's Aerosmith and no one's in the audience. Well, aside from the crazy mofos who will stop at nothing to incite the revolution. To quote the 90s, totally lame. Luckily, this is fictitious and none of it has really happened, but then again, I wasn't in LA at the time, so I could be wrong. Why would LA ever riot about anything ever? They got it all, man! There's this great thing about cheese. There's so many varieties of it, most types taste amazing or good at the very least, and it only seems to get better with age. Well, there's no better slice of 90s well, but badly aged cheese than Revolution X. If you were there, you were metal enough to understand. Okay, this is just another game. In this, entertainment of the video kind, the New Order Nation, or NON as they're called, are taking over as you just stumbled upon such a thing. Luckily, you're the Terminator, and it's very hard to kill you. This game is unique in the effect that in it, you don't have to save a princess, queen, or monarch. You don't have to save a president, mayor, or political figure. You don't have to save your girlfriend, pet, or lifelong chum. No, in this game, you save Aerosmith. Aerosmith? With Steven Tyler? Now that I think about that, is there another option? I mean, I'm not asking much, just another band possibility? No? See, I would have gladly gone through all of this for, say, Tool, System of a Down, Radiohead, Talking Heads, Motorhead, Metallica, Megadeth, Tori Amos, Wild Stallions, White Zombie, Rail Yankovic, Underworld, Orbital, Aphex Twin, Features on a London, They Might Be Giants, Temple of the Dog, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Prodigy, Pantera, Spinal Tap, Nine Inch Nails, KMFDM, NXS, Flight of Concord, Daft Punk, Cake, Bloodhound Gang, Anthrax, AC/DC, A Perfect Circle, Depeche Mode, Nirvana, Peter Gabriel, Ozzy Osbourne, or Kylie Minogue instead. I may have said Pearl Jam. I didn't mean to include Pearl Jam. I am not a fan of Pearl Jam. I have to admit it, in 1994, the year of the birth of this game, I was still a bit musically confused. A sheltered childhood left me very unknowing as to what kind of music was good, and when I finally started to listen to it in the mid-90s, to my merit, the first CD I ever owned was Nirvana's Nevermind. So at least I did that much right. So in 1994, I'm musically starved and trying to diversify my palette when this ridiculous game comes out. Well, Aerosmith seemed like the easy option to be a fan of. This was my pre-metal years. I didn't even know what a mosh pit was yet, and I'm still a few years away from the delicious sounds of Pantera. So back to the game. I think Aerosmith was going on their like 5th revival since what, the 40s when this game came out. Aerosmith had yet to offer any soundtracks or daughters to any Michael Bay movies, or pair up with any boy bands in a Super Bowl halftime show. Rock still had a little life left and they were still kinda cool. I remember liking the song Livin' on the Edge around that time before I even played this game. The game itself, however, I'll say it again, is ridiculous. When I use that word, I mean it in a complimentary sense, such as, those two socks match so well, it's ridiculous. See, there's shooters that test your skill. They make sure you're paying attention to the realistic, but not always premises, going on, and then sharpen your reactions in the process. Then there's the everything must go, and must die, and must explode in the most shrapnel-filled debris pileup of all time. Don't forget the extra violence. That mirror, kill it. That soap dispenser, fuck it up. And that swordfish on the wall, this time, it's personal. The latter is the kind of shooter Revolution X is. Yet there was a level called Pacific Rim, and there were no kaijus or Jaegers. As the bodies pile up in one piece or 50, you'll fight through 6 levels. This had the pseudo 3D wannabe type of feel to it before the polygons were used later in arcade games. However, they were done well by the standards of the time. The part that stood out is the fact that it's a rail shooter, but you have some control of where you go. There's the obvious time when the game would stop to ask you where you want to, and then there's the lesser obvious, you just shot something that completely changes the direction you're traveling. Go ahead, shoot the men's room sign in the first level. Guess where you'll go next? You can even shoot a poor bastard on the toilet for added incentive. While you go about this, you may actually find the members of the band hidden throughout the game, and you need to rescue all of them to get the good ending. I won't ruin it, but I will. Let's say Steven Tyler gets all the women and you don't even get a simulated kiss to the nuts. The 90s are so much fun to look back on, especially games made by Midway, here in Chicago, where I'm proud to live since Mortal Kombat was born here too, by Midway. If you look closely, you'll even see a Mortal Kombat 2 arcade machine in the background of the bus level. Retro boner on that. Your gun shoots CDs, because music is the weapon, as Steven Tyler briefs you on at the end of the first level.
Remember, music is the weapon.
As far as today's crap, he's absolutely right. If you were to just loop a Music by Nicki Minaj over and over again, it'll cause a casualty. It really will. My own. There were ports of this game, but seriously, why would you want to water down rock music to a Sega Genesis level of music capabilities, or even the CD-based systems that could handle it better in the sound department would load at very inappropriate times. I saw a big lack of the arcade action in all of the home versions I tried. They just couldn't handle it. If you get a chance to play it, stick with the arcade. This deserves your quarters. You will have fun, you will see things like this, or this, or this, or many other strange occurrences. So do it, find it, and play it until you say Aerosmith. Arcade past, let's make it last.